Hello, my name is Simran Saunders, and this is a presentation on two different arguments presented in two different works of philosophy. So, I'll be discussing today John Stuart Mill and Gottlob Frege. They are both well-known philosophers that presented unique arguments on language and logic. The philosophers are both trying to explain what it is we're actually doing when we make sounds or marks and manage to convey information about stuff in conversation. So the first argument I will discuss comes from John Stuart Mill and his A System of a Logic, and his assertion that we need both proper and general names to communicate our thoughts effectively. So this is proper names versus general names. I'm going to give you some brief information about the difference between the two. Proper names are not connotative. These names alone do not imply anything about those who have them. They are a mark that is only true of one thing, the singular name of an individual or thing. Examples are Phoebe Bridgers, Lucy Dacus, and Julian Baker are the members of the band Boy Genius. So within that sentence, we have four proper names: Phoebe Bridgers, Lucy Dacus, Julian Baker, and Boy Genius. These are singular individual names that are also proper names. They can't be assigned to anyone else. And then the second example is this stone in my hand is hard. This one can be a bit confusing between the difference between proper and general names, because you could say, oh, a stone, that's got to be a general name, right? Because it's not the name of a specific person or like a band in the previous example. However, because it is this specific stone in my hand that I'm talking about, that is also a proper name. So general names are a mark that can be many things. They can also describe as a general term. And we can use general names. General names can be used to create classes. Can describe individuals in a multitude. So the examples would be the band is great. So there we don't have much information. We don't know the name of the band, how many members are in the band. It's just generally the band is great. And then another example would be a stone. So we don't know which specific stone is being discussed, or if I'm looking out in a pile of stones and I say that stone, many stones, there is no individual connotation with a general name. So why do we need both proper and general names according to Mill? We need both of these because there are some things we could not say if we did not have proper names, and there are also some things we couldn't say if we didn't have general names or terms. Some sentences need one, some need the other, and some sentences use a combination of the two. So the next argument I'll be discussing is from Gottlob Frege's sense and reference. His argument is that we must use a combination of proper names, sense, and the referent to communicate effectively. So, proper names, sense, and the referent. So proper names, according to Frege, come from the sign or designation. Many names can be assigned to the same thing, a sign that is a definite object. So the example would be Gottlob Frege, or my name, Simran Saunders. The sense is the present experience of the thing, the a priori or common sense knowledge, connotations of the thing. An example would be anyone that is familiar with sports have a sense of how that game is played, or the rules of the game. The referent is the collective, communal, or common understanding of a word, phrase, or mark. The sense of the sign, a mark that evokes a sense in us that allows us a starting point of knowledge. So these are three examples: the North Star, the brightest star in the sky, and the bright light in the northern part of the sky. So all three of these sentences have a different sense, right? A different way of explaining something. However, the referent remains the same in all three, which is the North Star. So why do we need all three according to Frege? We need all three because we need both the name of something, the proper name, the relation to that thing, the sense, and the experience of the thing in question, the referent, to properly understand the meaning of the question or statement being denoted. So these are similarities and differences between the arguments. So both Mill and Frege use the concept of proper names in these arguments. They just use it a little bit differently. And then One difference is that Frege uses a more complex version of the breakdown of communication with the addition of the sense in the referent. So which argument is superior, according to me? I believe that it's Frege's, due to its common sense idea that if I use the word Cimarron, I'm talking about myself. You know that, I know that, it's very clear. This, in combination with the proper names, sense, and the referent, make for a better argument, in my opinion, because it allows for more allocation and analysis of what is actually happening when we're communicating with each other. Mill's argument is well put, and it's an overall good argument. However, Frege offers a deeper and more complex explanation. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and if you have any questions, just let me know.